cravings are just a signal. This is so powerful. Cravings are not a command. I know you feel like you have to do it, but it is not a command. It's just a signal, and I don't have to obey it. I can actually let it be here. Gaining belly fat in perimenopause and menopause, even while eating trim healthy and doing all the right things? Feeling exhausted, inflamed, and so done with the scale? Hey, I'm Chris Honeycutt, Jesus follower, trim healthy coach, and your midlife hype girl. I believe God didn't design you to live stuck, bloated, or burned out. This podcast helps you partner with your hormones, ditch the belly fat, and finally feel strong, calm, and confident in a body you actually enjoy living in. Real quick before we jump in, my friends, if your jeans aren't fitting like they used to, you're exhausted for no reason, or what worked in your 30s isn't working anymore, you are not alone, and you're definitely not broken. You just need a strategy that fits your season. That's exactly what I teach inside the Midlife Fat Loss Formula, my 6-month group coaching program built for real midlife women. Come take a look at it. bit.ly/join fat loss formula. That's bit.ly/join fat loss formula. Now, let's get into today's topic. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Menopause Makeover podcast. I am your host, Coach Chris Honeycutt, aka Honey. That is my grandma name. That is my part of my last name. And I'm hoping to bring you some honey nuggets today. You're going to have to excuse the sniffies. I am not sick. We have had a power outage for over a week. We do have power on, but it is so cold here in Nashville that our little heater just can't keep it going. So it's about 62 degrees in my house, and I am a little bit chilly. So excuse the chilly voice and the chilly sniff. I hope that doesn't bother you. Today, I'm actually answering a question because this is something that I see frequently and hear frequently. Not from everyone, but from a lot of you. So today we're going to be talking about something that it may not be for everyone. And if you've never struggled with a sugar addiction or eating desserts, being controlled by desserts or sweets or anything like that, there's still going to be some good tools that I teach in here. So you want to stay with me. I'm actually going to be teaching a very powerful tool later on. But we're talking about, and I don't even really like to categorize it, sugar addiction. Yes, we know sugar is highly addictive, and whatever you want to call it, the problem is that we are craving sugar, we're giving into sugar, and even those healthy sugars sometimes will cause that dopamine hit and cause your brain to want more. So I love raw honey. I love maple syrup, some of those natural sweeteners, but I'll say this, they're not for everyone. If they do the same thing to you and you want more, we want to deal with the issue. So those are going to be better choices. Second best choices are going to be those on-plan sweeteners like Gentle Sweet or Super Sweet or monk fruit, something like that, allulose. All of those are better sweeteners. So I don't want you to feel bad or judged or that I'm calling you out. I have dealt with this in the past, and the coaching tools that I have learned and also making sure that I get adequate protein has really helped me with that particular issue that I had going on. And I no longer crave and am controlled by sugar and sweets. But there was a day, or there actually was a season in my life that I was, and I could not eat it. And so this is not really about demonizing white sugar and sweeteners and things like that. That's not really what I'm coming to talk about. I'm coming to talk to you about why your midlife body might be asking for sugar or craving sugar when you really are wanting wisdom and freedom, but your body is needing that sugar, or maybe for energy, or maybe even that dopamine hit. Instead of white-knuckling and willpower, there are other ways to deal with this. And I want to help you understand what's going on with your body. So with that understanding, you can just be curious and give your body what it needs, not beat your body up or yourself up for craving sugar or being addicted to it or not being able to stop it or being controlled by it. If you've ever said, I'm eating healthy, I'm eating on plan, and I just still crave sweets nonstop, or if you are at a place where you don't really even eat white sugar and you're eating more of the natural sugars and you're still feeling out of control, or you just feel like this food, and it could be anything, it doesn't necessarily have to be sugar, but although there is a physiological thing going on there, whether you feel out of control or something has power over you, this episode is for you. So why sugar hits differently after 40 is physiology, because it isn't necessarily a discipline issue. And I wouldn't say that discipline or willpower can fix this issue. If that were the case, a lot of us would be free of this, but that's really not at the heart of this. So in perimenopause and menopause, several things change at once, but not abruptly. This change is happening over time. So over time, your estrogen declines, so your insulin sensitivity drops. Your cortisol becomes easier to spike. Your muscle mass decreases, and your glucose storage capacity goes down. Your sleep is disrupted, and that is going to affect appetite hormones. Your appetite hormones are going to get dysfunctional, or maybe they're going to get louder. So what's happening here? Your body handles sugar very differently than it did when you were 30. Even natural sugars like honey, they can still spike your blood sugar. Maple syrup, same thing. Coconut sugar, same thing. And repeated blood sugar spikes, especially in a stressed, sleep-deprived midlife body, create this loop. Blood sugar rises, insulin spikes, blood sugar crashes, cravings scream, repeat. So this is not a moral issue. This is not bad girl, you're a failure. This actually is biology. So sometimes even just a little bit of that honey or maple syrup or something like that, coconut sugar, those kind of things, those, even though they are and can be a better choice, it still keeps that reward loop turned on. Now, if that's not you, wonderful. Let's enjoy these in moderation. But some of you are going to go into that loop. Sugar of any form is going to activate that dopamine in the brain. And dopamine isn't the happy hormone. It's the want more hormone. So just knowing that for me helped me, I guess, accept myself and feel a little bit better about the stuck cycle that I was in, because my brain was just going, want more, want more. And sometimes my brain was going, want to feel better, want to feel better. So if you notice that you're thinking about sweets all day, you're bargaining with yourself, you're needing dessert to feel done, although that can be something you have wired in, feeling edgy without something sweet, that may not be true hunger. It may be your neurochemistry. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is step away. Not forever, but maybe long enough to get your brain recalibrated. So let's talk about what happens when you remove sugar short term and long term. Let's just talk about the expectations of what can happen. And like I said, I've gone through this before and I've coached many women in these cycles. Days 1, the cravings feel louder, your mood may feel flat, and your energy may dip. This is normal because this is dopamine recalibrating. After 1 to 2 weeks, the cravings calm, appetite feels steadier, energy becomes even, and food noise begins to quiet down. After several weeks, your taste buds actually change. This is what I really appreciated, because once I was sugar-free for about 6 months, my taste buds changed and I did not want sugar. Sugar, sweets, they were so sweet. I could hardly handle them. Now, I know if I would have kept eating that, I would have been rewiring my brain back into a sugar addiction. However, that's not what I did, and I'm so glad that I didn't. But basically, these cravings, or what's going on, is your body is detoxifying your signaling system after those several weeks. And so your taste buds change. Fruit tastes even sweeter. More peace with food can feel better. And weight loss often becomes unstuck because those sweet foods are very usually calorie dense, and either they're fat and carbs together, or they're very high in calories, or maybe they even got some of the off-plan oils and things that contribute to inflammation and not weight loss. So how do we want to handle these cravings without that white knuckling it? And this is where most women get stuck. So listen closely here. Cravings are just a signal. This is so powerful. Cravings are not a command. I know you feel like you have to do it, but it is not a command. It's just a signal. And so when a craving hits, ask, is my body asking for fuel, or is my nervous system asking for relief? What do I need right here? Now, sometimes you may really feel like, I need that cookie. I need that brownie. And it could be because we've wired that in. You know that your brain is going to get a dopamine hit. But as we are breaking up with sugar or moving away from it, you want to start asking yourself about your craving and what your body is really asking for. Most sugar cravings fall into 4 buckets. 1, blood sugar imbalance. 2, under eating protein. 3, stress and emotional overload. I think that's a biggie. And 4, habit and comfort. I want to talk to the woman who's wondering if it's just too late. If you've been thinking, well, I guess this is just how it's going to be from now on, maybe I'll never feel strong or lean again. I want to speak directly to you. It is not too late, my friend. Your body is not broken. You just need a plan that works with your hormones, your metabolism, and your real life. That's why I built the Midlife Fat Loss Formula. It is my 6-month group coaching program where we walk step by step through the exact things your body needs to shift back in to fat burning mode. You'll learn how to eat in a way that fuels you, how to move in a way that actually works, and how to create sustainable habits that last beyond the 6 months. It's not about perfection. It's about progress that sticks. Women like Michelle and Anita are seeing major shifts, not just on the scale, but in their labs, in their confidence, and even their strength. So if you've been needing that nudge to take the next step, this is it. Come on over to bit.ly/join fat loss formula. That's bit.ly/join fat loss formula. I would love to support you inside. So we want to use some replacements, not necessarily substitutions, but we want to give ourselves, we don't want to be deprived, and we don't have to be deprived. I love that. You don't have to just tell yourself no and then white knuckle. There are some wise ways of replacing, and then there are some mindset tools I'm going to be teaching you. So we're not replacing sugar with fake sugar binges. Instead, we want to stabilize the system, stabilize your system. So here are some powerful replacements that can help calm down that sugar craving. I'm not going to say that it's going away, but these are things that can work and help you curb those cravings. And these are replacements. We're not just subbing out a fake sugar and actually your brain is not going to get the same dopamine hit. But these are the things that you want to work on and you want to implement when you are getting the signal of craving. Remember, I tell myself, this is just a signal. So protein first, anchor protein every meal, every snack. Preferably chewing your protein. Now, sometimes, yes, I love the optimized protein powder shakes. I'm actually going to have a kefir shake with vanilla protein powder and matcha this afternoon. I love the essential amino acids, but we need to chew our food. And I love, like I said, smoothies, but preferably when you're breaking up with sugar, as we should say, you want to have that satiation from chewing, and protein is going to be your best friend. The next thing is we're going to replace those sweet foods with whole fruits. So fruits that, not canned fruit, fruits that have their skin on. Fruits are designed to be sweeter in nature and give us a small dopamine hit, which is what we're designed for. The other thing, creamy and salty combos like Greek yogurt with nuts, cottage cheese with cinnamon, those kind of things can actually help as well. warm foods at night to calm the nervous system. So instead of reaching for the Oreos or the wedding cookies or whatever you're getting, how about you make yourself an optimized hot chocolate drink, add a little cinnamon in there, and you will sleep like a baby. Another thing that this really helps reduce cravings, that I actually bought some of this spray. They're bitters. We need bitters. Our liver needs bitters, but bitters actually reduce sugar cravings or sweet cravings. That would be lemon, and you're using some of the pith. That's not necessarily the rind, although you can, but the white part, apple cider vinegar, bitter greens, and even, like I said, I've got this spray that I can spray, and that is going to help reduce those cravings. When your body feels safe and fed, your cravings soften. So we don't necessarily want to try to eat less or go lower on the calories. It's just going to cause those cravings to be even more. So let's talk about the mindset of just stop eating sugar. Just stop it. Just stop it. It does not work to do that. Our inner conversation with ourselves makes a huge difference, and restriction without understanding creates rebellion. Restriction without understanding creates rebellion. So instead of saying, I can't have that, try, I'm choosing peace over the cycle. Or instead of saying, I have no self-control, try, my body is learning a new rhythm. I'm learning self-control. So this is not about punishing yourself, being upset with yourself when you fail, because you're going to fail. You're going to step out and you're going to fail. And that is an opportunity to return back and use some of our mindset techniques here. Instead of, I'm the person that is not able to get away from sugar, I'm addicted to sugar. Those kind of identity statements we want to move away from. I am the woman walking in freedom. I'm practicing this. I'm breaking up with sugar, and this is a practice. This is a partnership with your body and not a punishment. So this is where I really love to use my faith. Well, I like to use my faith in every way, but specifically here when I am in places of stuck, surrender is the answer. And surrender does not mean waiting for God to just remove my cravings while I do nothing. It doesn't mean me striving or harder in my own strength, which I can do that very easily. But surrender looks like, first of all, even asking God, okay, I really am not willing right now to give this up, but I want to be willing. Please make me willing to be willing. Sometimes we're starting there. And sometimes it looks like just inviting him into that moment of craving. What if you just sat in your craving and you just invited Jesus into that moment to sit with you with that craving? And you could also drop into, this is not a command, this is a signal, and I don't have to obey it. I can actually let it be here. The second thing is just pause. Just take a deep breath. Let's just pause for a second. We don't have to run away from it. We don't have to give into it, but we pause instead of panicking or reacting. And then we ask the Lord to help us choose wisdom while trusting grace. The grace is here. The grace is here for me. And not getting upset with yourself if you don't choose that in the moment. It is going to be uncomfortable. It is. That is another thing that I had to make peace with. I had to make peace with it being uncomfortable for just a little while. And after those couple weeks, those cravings were completely gone. After 4 days, they were getting better. And I knew I just want to stay in this because I want to be free. And the more that you don't give into that craving, the more that you wire that craving out. So we're not trying to earn or punish our way into freedom or beg. We are practicing it, and we are inviting the Holy Spirit along with our walk, giving us the grace that we need in our time of help. And also recalling in our mind that these are not commands, these are signals. And so sometimes the best thing you can do is just to go eat a balanced meal. Or maybe we need to hydrate. Maybe there's things that we're missing and it's causing those cravings to be bigger. So here are some practical things you can do this week if you are resetting, if you are breaking up with sugar. And here, this is more of a gentle reset, but take a break completely. Instead of giving yourself a little bit here and there, at this point in time, I can give myself what I call a joy eat whenever I'd like to and have 1 or 2 bites and be done. It's rare that I have a craving that gets set off and I am just going with it. Very rare. But I've also been practicing this for a lot of years, and I believe I've rewired that out of my brain. So the other thing is eat balanced meals and keep your blood sugar steady by eating every 3 to 4 hours or 3.5 to 4.5 hours. If you go long stretches of time, that's going to impact your blood sugar and maybe cause cravings. You're going to prioritize protein and fiber. If you are having cravings, up your fiber and eat that with your protein. We're going to keep everything paired with protein. No naked carbs. So whatever, if you're eating an apple, let's throw some protein in there. Hydrate. I know that sounds super simple, but hydration helps. Go outside for a walk. Redirect yourself for a little bit. If you're craving something, go for a 20-minute walk. As long as you aren't rehearsing that craving, you'll probably come back and feel better and not need it. Now, if you keep going, I can't wait till I get back to have that, you're probably going to still have that craving, or you will. Sometimes I just have to put myself to bed earlier, like when there's things going on and I'm tempted to give in to my flesh or whatever it is. It's like, you know what? I just need to put myself to bed right now. I just need to go to sleep and I need to start the day over. So it's not a forever thing. This is just a recalibration. I never thought I'm done with sugar forever. That would have not gone well with me. It's a recalibration. I'm reestablishing my relationship with sweets. I want to be in control. I want to deal with cravings. And I will say this, some of you are always going to deal with a little bit of cravings here and there. Hormonally, and that happens to me even now. I go through hormonal fluctuations and I will have more cravings. I will be hungrier. And that's okay because I've learned how to navigate it. I give myself more crossovers. I give myself adequate sleep and rest and hydration. And if I do need to eat within, usually I wait 4 hours, but sometimes if I'm super hungry, I'll just eat at that 3-hour mark. I'll give myself an extra snack that's on plan and that's at least 3 hours. So I can navigate that. So freedom with food doesn't come from striving or trying harder. It really comes from you understanding your body and practicing responding with wisdom. This season of life requires different signals. And so your body is really just asking for a new approach. And you don't have to figure this out all by yourself. And you're not going to get this right the first time. I see that so many times where I've heard people say, well, I tried this and I couldn't do it, so I just gave in. I kept practicing. My coach said it's going to take you 100 times to allow an urge, to allow that urge to be there and pass. That really helped my brain because I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this 100 times. And you know what? I started seeing success before 100 times of failure. So I've got a few things that I want to talk about that are more practical that might help you fight your cravings. Hey friends, if you're ready for real results, the kind that last because they're built for your midlife body, let's chat. I offer a free discovery call to see if one-on-one coaching is the right fit for you. In that call, we'll look at your current habits, hormones, and lifestyle, and I'll share how I can help you personalize a plan for food, fitness, and fat loss that actually works in this season of life. So go to getyourtrimon.com/work with Chris and grab your spot. Let's find out what your body's been trying to tell you.